I'm pretty sure dishwasher pods are toxic. In my opinion, dishwasher pods are toxic, and I'm going to break down why, but I also find it really interesting. I was tagged in a video recently by someone talking about the type of plastic that's used in a lot of dishwasher and laundry pods. He had a very long-winded video, and I think it was even like a two-parter, where he talked about polyvinyl alcohol and how it was completely safe. And dude got so much wrong. This is not a video about him, so I really don't want to go point by point as to what he got wrong. But just to explain, he got the very definition of microplastic incorrect. The type of plastic that's used for dishwasher and laundry pods is called polyvinyl alcohol. It's a polymer, right? It's still petroleum-based, and it is water-soluble. The argument used for people to say that it's safer is that it dissolves in the dishwasher, and then it gets washed out into our drinking water, and there it breaks down to its essential components, and therefore it's not bad for you. But that is ignoring like 80% of why microplastics are bad for you. Microplastics, yes, they're bad when they get into the environment, because then it can end up back in our water supply and air, right? Because water evaporates. However, the microplastics will get into our bodies in a number of different ways. And guess what? PVA, polyvinyl alcohol, has shown up in lots of places all over our bodies. Now, that is how I determine toxicity, okay? And this whole idea of water solubility, and again, the video, and I'm not going to go point by point, he says that they break down into building blocks of the polymer, right? That happens not instantaneously. That can take months, and it requires presence of certain bacteria, microorganisms, in order to break them down. Some wastewater treatment plants certainly have that. Not all of them do, right? Between those 30 to 60 days, that water can still be evaporated, and it can still coat our dishes on the inside of our dishwasher, right? There is still a slight residue. PVA has now been found in breast milk, urine, blood, indoor air, human vascular tissue, and public drinking water fountains. Microplastics, regardless of what type they are, have been found to be linked to high blood pressure, hypertension, higher risk of heart attack, higher risk of stroke, higher risk of just death, and dementia, because they've been found in our brain too. Now, funny, not funny, they found that breathing in PVA was the most toxic out of all the polymers that they actually tested. It did also disturb your gut microbiome. A messed up gut microbiome is linked to lots of really bad things, including a suppressed immune response and potentially cancer down the road. Another thing that we don't know, which dude didn't mention in this video, is that PVA is not that straight polymer every single time. In fact, it increasingly gets mixed in with other polymers. You actually have no idea if it's straight PVA, which it probably isn't, or if it's mixed with one of those other materials and is a copolymer of something. And another thing you have to think about, just because something is water soluble and it ends up in our body does not mean that the microorganisms present in order to degrade that polymer are in our body, right? They're not in our body. I mean, you probably shouldn't use dishwasher pods. Here are some of my favorite brands for plastic-free dishwasher powder, right? You don't need the plastic around the capsule that is just a way for them to sell you more. And for your laundry, here are my favorite brands to use that won't be putting plastic on your clothing where you may potentially be able to inhale them.